What's up, everybody out there in the general public?
Hello, everybody out there in the ether.
In the ether.
The ether.
I think we ought to come up with like an intro that's like something like George Norrie or Art Bell used to do on like Coast to Coast AM.
George Soros does.
No, not George Soros.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, I am. No, I am. But Art Bell would always be like, live from the high plateau, east of the Rockies. This is Coast to Coast AM. And it was like, that's what we ought to do. We ought to make it like real theatrical.
We'll have to run it by George, though.
Yeah, George controls everything.
We're the Soros Mafia here in Spruce Park.
Right, exactly. So we are pleasured to be joined by a local legend, I would say.
Yeah.
At this point, the legend of Gresham Buchanan. Gresham Buchanan, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. It's good to have you in, man.
Born and raised, man.
Yeah.
Spruce Pine.
Born and raised. What? Didn't you graduate from Mountain Heritage, though?
No, I'm a Mitchell guy.
You're a Mitchell guy?
Yeah, I jumped ship, moved.
Ah.
I'm a 98 graduate.
I can't say anything too bad about Burnsville or Laura gets upset about it. I always have this playful banter with Laura because she left Mitchell and went to Mountain Heritage and ended up graduating from Mountain Heritage. I'm like, you traitor. And then I always like get on to her about how bad Burnsville is.
I've had to squash it. I actually had my Mountain Heritage shirt on, and I thought, I'll change.
Yeah.
I'll change.
You don't want to get,
Yeah, the kids got to. I have to cheer for Mountain Heritage. I wear green, but
Yeah.
Down inside, I'm still proud.
I hear you, man. You got to rep where you're at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And at the end of the day, both of them are great, honestly.
They are.
I love Burnsville, honestly. I do. The wide spot in the road.
It feels like it's one county.
It does. Honestly, it does. Especially after the storm, though. I think
We're tight.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I come to Spruce Pine on a daily basis for something.
Yeah.
Well,
I think the community is expanded. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I kind of feel that way. Like, I know a lot more. Like, I know, and especially we had like Meg and some of those people that were like in opposition to the library thing. We don't have to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Great people, whatever your thoughts on either side of that issue are. Like, Yancey County people are great people, and they got their own problems, just like Mitchell County does.
Yeah.
In Mitchell County, I saw a lot of people from Burnsville talking shit about Mitchell County when we were having that real contentious election and everything. They were like, what is going on? And then of course, Yancey County has to respond and have its own drama. So, it's the way it is.
If you get on the Facebook and on the Burnsville Hub, there's some drama going on. And then I like to get on there and look at Mitchell County stuff too, Spruce Pine, and there's always something. You're involved in it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I'm just one of those that I'm a read the comments guy.
Yeah. I've tried to become that, but every now and then I've just had too much.
I don't even interject anymore.
Well, and that's the crazy thing is it really is just the social media thing.
Yeah.
It plays out almost entirely on social media until somebody, pummels a guy with a sign and down, at the square, and then things get real or whatever. But
Yeah, that was a few weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
I see the drama unfold, and I know a lot of those people on there. And
Yeah.
then it's funny to watch. Like, a lot of them take it serious. I'm viewing it from like a laughter standpoint, and if I do interject, I'm like trying to ruffle feathers from like a comedy standpoint. It's like
I know. It's right. Absolutely. We've done that 100 times. We used to be, especially you, JB, we're very good at trolling some of those things. I'll admit I've trolled a few things. You've trolled a few things. I know, we're guilty of that.
Yes, I like trolling, but I don't want to interject and seriously add to the argument because at the end of the day, it changes no one's mind. No, I don't know one person that has read a comment on Facebook and been like, maybe they're right. That has never happened in the history of the world.
Yeah, exactly. We talked some about this. We had Jameson Harding in here last time, which we need to get that episode up.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Did it not
Yeah.
upload?
I didn't notice it, did it?
I don't know. I'll look.
Okay,
I
all right.
said it to, but I don't know.
Jameson. Jameson was back.
Las Vegas.
He is. He was back here. He's been here actually for like a month. Almost, yeah. He came and spent. So they come out and bring the kids to see grandma and all that. But
on trolling, like, you know how these ladies will take a picture of a cat in their backyard and they're like, "What is this?" And then I'm like, "That's a panther." You know, like so you interject those.
Right. My favorite, my personal favorite is the consummate. This comes up like at least once every like 3 weeks. It's like somebody will be like, "What's going in the new, the old whatever," and I'm always like. Those were, but now everybody's caught on to it. I used to do it way back in the day when nobody would say anything. It was all serious. I'd be like, "Man, I heard there was a Hooters coming in." Now it's always Hooters or like something.
Family Dollar.
Yeah.
It's like every time they clear a lot, you're just like, "Oh, that's a dollar store."
What is up with that? I heard that what their business model was, they wanted to have a Dollar General. They picked out like state highways, like major state highways. And then the population centers around them and have basically said, we want to have one of these every I think it was like every 20 miles or something. Does that sound?
Their business model
sounds accurate.
I don't know if it's genius or stupidity yet, but have you been in one lately?
Oh yeah.
You go in and there's really nobody there. Everything like you said, it's in baskets or just laying around. The shelves are
shambles.
It is kind of crazy.
The
like
retail store. I had a conversation with the lady working yesterday or the day before. I went in. Luckily, I found some paper.
Yeah.
Printer paper. And there was nothing in the freezer, man. The whole wall of the freezer was empty. And she's like, "They won't give me any help." And I'm like, "Well, I don't shop here, and let me tell you why." So I did interject with her a little bit. I was like, "I don't like this business model. I don't like the sloppiness. I'm a neat freak." Kind of.
I know. Me too, man.
You leave trash on my job site. If you drop my truck and you throw your Coke in the floor, I'm a neat freak. And if you go in a store like that, it's probably a form of ADD.
Dude,
I can't take it.
We've talked about this in Hickory, North Carolina. Everything you go into is a dump. Like the Chipotle is a dump. Like every table's dirty. Like it looks like it hadn't been cleaned in a long time. You go into the sheets, both of the sheets. There's 2 sheets down there. You go into both of them. They're both trash. The bathrooms are disgusting. Guitar Center, they never fucking vacuum or anything like that. It's crazy. I don't understand what is going on. And I'm the same way, and that bothers me.
It's poor management.
It is poor.
It's poor management.
But I think that's something that honestly, I think it happened after COVID. Nobody. What happened where have all the cowboys gone?
They all came here right after the hurricane for about 3 days.
Yeah, that's true.
I was so sick of Cowboys. They needed to leave. I'm glad they're gone. Actually.
That is very true.
What was it?
I'm referring to all the people that come in here right after the hurricane and rode around on side-by-sides with chainsaws strapped to the back of it, joyriding for 3 days.
Oh, okay.
Well, what I was talking about was where have the employees? Where is any sort of accountability for management? Is it really, I want to know, is it really bad, just bad sloppy corporate management, or is it, I think it is too.
Middle management too. And then you're a manager, so you know what it takes day in and day out. You can't take days off. You maybe take an hour off here or there.
Right.
But I just think it's running a business and and knowing the ins and outs of a small business. You don't not wipe a table down when a person leaves a restaurant and expect to seat somebody else. That when I put my arm in, it's sticky. I'm done. I'm not even.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that.
Yeah.
And that's what, I swear, I think should be okay for me to talk about this. But at this point, this is how far this is gone. This is a serious thing. I'm not even joking with you. It's going to sound like a joke. It's not a joke. Laura is on this run. Literally every time I go to a restaurant with her or she goes to a restaurant by herself, every single time something is wrong. It's like we cannot go on Now, I'm not saying it's every single time, but it's literally 75, probably 85% of the time we go anywhere, something gets completely fouled up. And I'm not talking about like, oh, they just like McDonald's forgot to, put your fries in there. Like, I'm talking like it's a colossal failure. It takes like 30 minutes to get something, or an hour to get something. It comes out, it's completely wrong. The service is terrible. There's dirt in the food. There's something. It is like unbelievable. And I think it's just one of those things that like, it's one of those statistical anomalies where like things just go wrong an exorbitantly a lot of times. But I think it also speaks to the fact that like literally retail died during COVID. Like it died. Like the customer service died.
I think it's
during
been
COVID.
For a while. So it's a multifaceted problem, and it starts with your frontline employees that don't make shit. They don't care. They're not paid enough to care. So who could blame them? I mean.
But also, like, what other jobs are people doing around here that are paying so much money? I guess maybe working at Alltech.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Or maybe working at things, but like anybody that's actually worth a shit goes to
keep employees though. I mean, you're paying these guys. Uniman, I think, is always hiring, or it's
Spelco, yeah,
or Quartz or
right.
Alltech. Those are your big boys. They're always hired, and you're getting paid $20 to $30 an hour, maybe up in the 30s. So, I know I paid a guy pretty good for a lead guy. And he quit me on a project, actually down here. It's first time, but like I paid him more than I had anybody. Gave him a truck, paid for his gas. You don't expect people like that to quit or get unhappy. I don't know. Maybe we're diving into like people's unhappiness and anxieties and things like that, which have kind of.
I think that's some of it. But like that's the one thing that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like if you're making like even for people that are coming in, like if you're making like $18 an hour, like
I remember that was lead guy pay.
Yeah.
When I went in, I mean, you'll probably laugh.
Like you're pinching pennies, but you could make it work. Like you could make it work. Like, and where else are you going to go?
No, that's good. That's $18 an hour is good pay.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get why there's always such a shortage of stuff. Or it's people don't want to do those jobs. What is it?
Like I said, it's a multifaceted problem. So and you just let me get to the first part of it. That's your first line employees. Okay, so they're not paid enough to care.
Right.
They don't care. You've got. I mean, let's talk about Dollar General specifically. Those people make $8, $9 an hour at best.
Right.
At best, they probably work them 2 to 3 days a week is all they're allowed to work. All right. Now, to keep the overhead low, that's why they do it. Keep the store overhead low. They schedule them all part time. They don't have benefits. Yada yada yada. On top of that, you have managers that make $15 an hour. They don't care.
Right, because
they're never there. Have you ever seen a manager at the Dollar General? Yeah.
No, they don't care.
Or the people that are there are kind of the managers, I guess.
Yeah. So it's a top-down problem. And there's many layers to it, and to oversimplify it and be like, well, people just don't want to work anymore. Well, that's a gross oversimplification. It's far deeper than that. Sure, a lot of people don't want to work. That's perfectly valid. But at the same time, you have to give them a reason to want to work.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to give them a reason to want to work. And it's not like we have like an insane, at least in the county, like social program that keeps everybody and their brother up.
Yeah, I mean. I think it's culture. I'm back to what you said too. I think part of it's culture rot.
Yeah.
I really do think it's like hard work and like, even if it's some menial task, like hard work. Hey, I'm going to work hard and move up in this. Like, where do you move up in Dollar General. Where do you go if you manage a Dollar General? Where do you go from there? Like,
where do you move up anywhere? I mean, let's take one of these big mining jobs. You're working there making $30 an hour entry level. You get promoted to supervisor position. You're making
less.
Less.
You make less.
You get abused constantly, and I'm not talking about Sibelco specifically, but all of them, all these companies, all of them work this way.
Yeah.
You're abused constantly.
You're talking about middle management.
Yeah. Well, not even just supervision, not even middle management, just supervision.
Yeah.
You're a whipping boy for the middle managers and the employees. So, and who wants to do that? Psychopaths who just want power and want to tell people what to do. Oh, they're not going to make it.
But don't you feel like all that's existed like before? Like factory jobs have kind of always been like that, right?
I think yeah.
Sure, they have.
You know?
What we're seeing.
But why is everything complete garbage? Like,
because the blinders are off now. Okay, to take a line from the movie Office Space, I work my ass off, and Intech shoots out a few extra units. Bill Lumberg's stock goes up a quarter of a point. I don't get jack shit. Where's my incentive?
right.
The blinders
It's true.
are off. People see that now. You have corporations making record profits, and people out here making $50,000 a year can barely live.
It is so true, dude.
It's a problem.
What was it? What was that figure? And you can help me. Like Sibelco North America. Okay, not all of Sibelco, but Sibelco North America, which, by the way,
That's us.
is just spruce pine.
That's just spruce pine.
Spruce pine, yeah.
Mate, what is it? Look it up. See what they made in 2024.
Oh, I bet it's insane.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last time it was like 400 billion or something like that.
Worked there for 9 years.
I worked there at the Red Hill plant, if we're going to talk about it, and I actually have went back and done some subcontract work. And I know a lot of the guys there. They're great. But, I mean, like...
And I always preface this. Before we go into this, let me preface this by, like, I understand the mines are an integral part of, like, this. I'm not taking that for granted. I hope they stay, and I hope they use local contractors, and there's a lot of that. But also at the same time, like... When you hear this number, and if I'm not mistaken, it was an absolutely asinine number, was it not?
They're not Americans. You got to think these are not Americans that really care. Now, your middle management we're talking about, or employees, they care. They're us. They're part of our.
Is that Europe? That might be Europe.
Anybody local.
Only coming up with the full. It's only pulling up the full country. I'm not sure. If it's
okay.
Let me find just the
But
North
yeah.
American.
Great job. It kind of come back to really not. I don't think I could have climbed that corporate ladder.
Yeah.
Because I'm a lack of education. I don't have one of these canoeing degrees where I studied canoeing for 4 years or whatever. You know? I mean, school wasn't for me. Am I a manager now? Do I run a small business? Yeah. Do I succeed at it? I think so. It's paid for a lot of things for me and my family.
Right.
Could I have done that for another company? Yes. Am I glad that I did it for myself and my own family? Yes. Way more. Because I see profit margins. I see numbers. I see kind of where companies coming from, whether it's a big company or a small company, and there's still things that I haven't learned. But my clientele is millionaire clientele, and I always ask them questions like, how'd you get here? What'd you do? You know, it's always kind of the same thing. Answer your phone.
Got it, Josh.
You know, be presentable, be professional.
Yeah, no, that's
Clean.
100%. Absolutely.
I mean, every day, stop 30 minutes early and clean up your job site if it's construction.
Yep.
We're in, you know, and you have to create habits, and you can't let those little habits. But back to like Sibelco, it's kind of a job that you go in and you do the same thing every day. My job was.
Right.
So really quick. And my family dynamics weren't really good at that point in time. I just had twin infants, and I stuck my wife at home with them. So she's, up and down, and when I'm coming home off a 12-hour shift, I'm shutting the blinds and trying to get some sleep. So she basically wasn't seeing me. I wasn't seeing my kids. I bid on another job at one of the labs and just kind of set up there and did my thing until I was like, I can't do this. I'm not really. I was just a squatter where I'm watching a machine, making sure the machine doesn't tear up, making sure it's fed acid, making sure the sand's putting out a good product. You know, and I did all that.
Josh knows exactly what you're talking
But
about.
it just wasn't enough for me. Like it,
Pilot plant.
yeah, I ran those pilot plants in the back at the lab on the radio. Yeah.
The reactor.
Yep.
Gassing.
Yep. I was on that rotation weekend shift.
Yep.
So, I mean, you would get up every 15 minutes to an hour and go do your rounds, and it was all great. It's interesting. I mean, I'm glad I got that knowledge, but it wasn't like I was going to be a plant supervisor making $250K a year.
Right,
like,
right.
It's just not in the cards.
Well, and even if you were, you'd be home even less probably, and probably not get paid as much.
Yes, and my I don't know. At that time, I might have made $60,000 or $70,000, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
And imagine from knowing what I know now, imagine what they were making off of me. I mean, they're probably charging the customer $500,000 for my job. You know, when it gets down the line, when they're
Right.
You know, but they may even make more than that off of me. They're going to cover my $60,000 salary. I know they've got to at least double it. So they got to be charging $100, or they got to be $160 a year. They got to be charging $120 a year.
Yeah, they're marking up their labor basically. Yeah, when it comes right down to it. Yeah.
Because they're covering me on insurance, man. I hate
Right.
you had insurance. You have benefits.
Mhm.
Like,
So the total revenue for 2023, I think, was $2.1 billion.
2.1 billion from Sabelco North America.
I can't find the profits, but that's the total revenue.
I think it's a million a day per plant, probably. But I don't, a billion, like when you get into the billions, like my mind don't.
So here's my thing. When you see all this and you see how when you work for a big corporation like that, you see how you're treated, and you realize the blinders come off, and you see exactly how much money that company makes off of you. Which again, a company should make money. That's their whole intent per.
Yes, it absolutely
Yes.
should make money.
Sure.
And
Yep.
the cell phone era has helped them out.
It has.
I mean,
It has. But then you realize that every company under the sun works this way. Healthcare companies, insurance companies, all of it. And then you're like, oh shit, that's probably not a good thing.
Right. You're like the majority of the profits are going to the
Shareholders.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, when you get that high up, and I think there's,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, we could say whatever here, but it's stealing.
It is.
It's
It's
stealing.
crazy. Like, even really at the end of the day, a lot of the stock market is just a complete joke. Like,
It's bad business ethics. I didn't
It
take
is,
enough business
yeah.
classes in college to know, like, business ethics, and
yeah, you want
a lot of those people, when it does come out, they get caught. I mean, Enron,
right.
those scandals like that. Those.
Yeah, which is not to say, honestly, not to say Sabelco or
Oh, no.
none of that is
No.
is corrupt as far as I could tell. I mean, maybe.
Who-
Yeah, I mean,
nobody would ever know.
either if it's not that,
Belgium or
it's
Norway.
poor management. You know what I mean?
But it's every company, everywhere,
Right.
in the entire world.
Wait a minute, where are we getting back to? Every institution in America is corrupt.
So it's for every institution in the world.
Institutions, now not businesses. If you're taking small businesses, like my small business, or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
You-
An actual business, but when you go public, you become like
Oh yeah.
you kind of by the nature of the beast become that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's sad. And I'm sure there are some companies out there that are publicly traded that are ran very well and ran very ethically. That's not,
Sure.
you know what I mean? But anything, all the companies that are involved with the government, I find it really, really hard to see how a lot of these companies are involved with government, like on a first-hand basis, like involved with government. You know, your Lockheed Martin, BlackRock, all those type of like private security and private investment firms and all that type of stuff. They're all
I'm so
screwing us out of everything, I
Dude,
think.
The past year year has got me so disillusioned with everything anymore. I'm just like, it's all shit. Everything's terrible. Every institution. I've said for a long time that every institution in America is corrupt to its core. Now I think it's every institution in the world, including those that may have voted
You just really went down the dark, the black hole, huh?
So hard.
I want you to stay positive, man.
Yeah, stay positive.
Stay positive on it.
Well, I mean,
Josh is positive on a personal level.
Yeah. On a personal level, like I'm totally perfectly happy. I'm not like depressed or anything. But I'm like, oh my god, like the world is so corrupt, so corrupt. It's mind-boggling. The endlessness of it.
Yeah.
It's biblical, though.
I listened to, the other night I listened to Tucker Carlson talk to Daryl Cooper, the historian, and Daryl had done a lot of research into the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, and they like walked through it, like the whole saga, like from his birth.
Wild show,
dude.
I missed it.
Oh, dude,
I
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Out of the,
but it's like Epstein it's not even really what you even think it is. I'm not after listening to that. I'm not even so sure that there really is. What even is a list, really? Like, what is a list?
I mean, there'd probably be a lot of people on it.
Well, they were talking about specifically a client list.
A client list.
They made it go away, didn't they?
Yeah, but I don't know that even exists. Like, what they had was the flight logs. And we already know you can't, just because somebody was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane doesn't mean you can just think, because there's plenty of people that there's people even come out and been like, yeah, I went down there, the guy was weird, I got out of there, like
free plane ride to a private island. I would have been like, yeah, let's go, man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
fuck yeah, dude. Let's get out of here, man.
This guy's gonna fly us to his private island. I would have went.
But
you didn't know.
But if you're in that echelon of people, chances are, and there's that is going on. Chances are you know. Chances are, if you're at that level of society.
I get, but I don't think a lot of it. You ever heard Eric Weinstein talk about this? Like, he was like, we knew that Jeffrey Epstein was like, he had a lot of money, had a lot of influence. He was kind of a money manager, I think. Like, he worked at Bear Stearns for a while, managing kind of people. It was really, he was laundering money, honestly. Like, he was, but it was like figuring out how, wealthy clients could hide money, basically. And then when he got out of that, like, he just randomly met, Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, who was a known, like, Mossad, like, supporter and all this type of stuff. And then you just look at the raw, like, facts value without ever making assumptions like, oh, he's Mossad, he was CIA, whatever. It is just the wildest saga that has ever transpired, honestly.
I mean, Ghislaine is in prison 20 years for her 5 counts that they convicted her on related to child sex trafficking.
Yeah.
So
it's child sex trafficking, and the woman gets 20 years?
No, but I'm saying if she was doing that, there's no way working for Jeffrey that he wasn't part of it and there weren't clients. Like, like there had to have been clients, and they had to have known who they were.
Well, and the current administration has been harping on this client list throughout their entire campaign until the past weeks. And now it doesn't exist. I'm sorry, it stinks.
Do you think it's possible that they just held on to the information, and finally was just like, oh, no, never mind, there wasn't a list? Because, Trump and the intelligence community don't get along. Assuming, he has his people supposedly in charge, but that, like, you can cut the head off the snake, but there's still people in there doing the bidding of the outside, too. Like, what if that's possible?
I guess it could be possible.
And I'm me, I'm no like MAGA Trumper guy or whatever, but like, I'm just saying, like, let's consider all the possibilities. Consider this is another way they're trying to screw Trump. It's not what it looks like, but there's a path to get there.
I voted for the guy.
Yeah, I did too.
But his behavior is screaming
guilty.
Something like.
Well, it just looks awful fishy.
About Jeffrey Epstein. why are we talking about? He's a creep. We don't need to talk about him. Let's talk about all the good things like that.
That's like the super creep.
He's been a little quieter this time, though, right? Or I don't have news. I don't have the TV. This is at me after Helene, so I mean, is he quieter? Like, is his tweets as bad?
No,
like
they're not as bad. He's kind of straightened his act up, but it's like if you don't have anything to hide, just come out with something. But what if there is nothing? Is all I'm saying. What if let's just consider the possibility that there is nothing. This is just one of them things where it's like, well, shit, they've screwed me over.
So that's that's a possibility, but it's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely.
I mean, says who though? Based on all the stuff that's happened. So all those people aren't gone. He don't get to appoint everybody that's employed at the government. That, you know what I mean?
Man, like.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's all I'm doing. I'm not saying down to necessarily agree with that.
Like one of these kind of weird feelings where like I got to working with one of these organizations for Helene, and I wanted to just like, just let everything be known.
Right.
And I thought, I could disappear. Like, so I think people feel like that. Like you could, if you talk a little too much trash, it's one of those things. It's like, well, did you hear about Gresham? He committed suicide last night or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's the thing.
Epstein's lawyer passed away yesterday or today.
And there's people involved in
and
stuff.
He had a previous sickness or something, but yeah, I mean,
Look, I totally get it.
In any case.
I totally get that. It's highly possible that, Trump has been threatened. But again, here's the problem. This is my whole issue. He campaigned on this.
Yes. Yo, you're right. 100% you're right on that.
Did he? See, I did.
He campaigned
hard.
He campaigned on these people are all Democrats. The Democrats are hiding this and not going to bring it out. If I get elected, I'm going to make sure the truth comes to light.
And now he has said verbatim that the people who are saying that this Epstein list is real are Democrats. Even talking about his supporters, his base, saying that they're stupid. He called them stupid, and I'm one of them. So he called me stupid, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like 6 months in, he's lost the plot. I'm done. That done it. Like, you don't call your base stupid for asking for the accountability that you promised.
Yeah. And his feet really do need to be held to the fire for it. I mean, you're 100% right. Like, you're going to have to come up with something better than what you're talking about right now. Something's going to have to. You're going to have to give us something because we've heard too much about this. Like, everything's been done. I get that.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows what it was. Everyone knows what was happening. It's just not been officially said.
Just say it. Just say what was happening and tell us who was doing it.
Together, I don't think, as good as a professional politician does. So he's going to get caught in some of these little small traps.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying is there's a possibility this is another one of those stupid things where they're just messing with him. And he was campaigning on it, and they're like, oh. Wait, what do you? And even if there was, it's like, just get rid of it.
You'll never know. We'll never know.
No, we won't.
We will never know.
We'll never know.
Our grandkids might know.
I remember telling people way back when, it's like, you might as well forget about it. We'll never know. Shut up about this Epstein client list because you're never going to get it.
Right.
She said it.
She did. She said it.
What'd she say?
She said, but we'll never know. It will never be released, no matter who's in power. It will never get released. It's funny that this is the hill that this administration is dying on. But then again, I don't know, like the past 6 months for some reason, I've just been hugely black-pilled politically and socioeconomically.
Well, here, let's talk about this. Let's bring it back a little more local, like you were going. Like, me and you both have done a lot of it. You, more than me, have done more of the working for the charity side of it and trying to, like, help in this. Like, I've helped, like, private individuals and businesses downtown and buildings downtown and stuff, but never directly for a charitable organization. I haven't got into that. And I just, honestly, me and Dad run a real tight-knit ship and try to keep it.
Yeah. You're better off.
Easy.
I mean, I will 100% say you're better off. Like,
right.
Not trying to help out.
Yeah. I get it. I think you're right, too, from the horror stories that I've heard from some of you guys. But what would you say, Gresham, like, if you had to, like, if somebody came to you and just said, what do you think about the response overall? Like, what's your whole thing? I've said mine 1,000 times. You've said yours 1,000 times. We've talked about this a lot, but we haven't asked each other this in months, actually. Now
you're talking. You're taking every factor into equation. You're talking about the stealing in the beginning, the fakers, and then all the good people. As a whole, there's a big room for improvement, but I'm an optimist, so my number's probably going to be like maybe 60 to 75% out of 100. If
you had to put it on a score it,
because there's a ton of room for improvement. I may be inching more down towards 60, but the optimist in me is like, I talked to. There was teenagers there and a guy in a church group on my site today from Iowa. Mm-hmm. And I don't talk to them about any of this. I'm like, hey, where are you from? This is great. You just join your state. It's a mission for them. Mm-hmm. And they're building a building on my site, and they were going to spread some of the gravel that we were putting in. I mean, that's great for them. I mean, you see people like that coming in week after week, so it's hard to be negative. But they'll never know. Mm-hmm. They won't see it.
Yeah.
We see, from a local standpoint, we see the negativity.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, you get a lot of that. Like, surrounded by all the stuff that's. But I still say the best way that I can describe it is the way I heard Shane Hilliard describe it. I've seen things that I never wish anybody had to see. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I've seen things I wish everybody could see. And the other thing I've realized, just like overall, is there's a whole like mechanism that descends on you after a natural disaster, don't you think? Like, in terms of and it's not just the government. It's the government. It's private. Like NGOs. It's religious organizations. There's a whole thing. Like you saw that like whole mechanism begin to move on us.
And it's coming in. It's coming in from so many different places, like private churches, private individuals. Mm-hmm. I've talked to guys early on that just got in their van in Minnesota and threw all their camping equipment in a van and drove down here and just stayed. Or you got churches sending thousands upon thousands of dollars, or maybe thousands of individuals. Mm-hmm. There's organizers in this. There's people that organize. There's people that manage. There's your volunteer base. But it's not ran properly, in my opinion. It hasn't. I had those volunteers today, and I talked to the organization that had got me on that job, mm-hmm. and that is actually paying me on that job. They said, they're not your responsibility to manage, and I knew that, but they were unmanaged. I mean, you just got teenage kids just wandering around next to. You know how nasty this dirt is. Rebar sticking up out of the ground. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's been some shady stuff I've seen. Like, if I was a volunteer, I'd at least have a pair of gloves on, especially early on, and maybe a face mask.
Well, yeah, if you send, like, I remember when we went on missions trips, like, we would go and, like, we'd go to these, like, rundown, like, destitute neighborhoods. We did some stuff after Katrina, I think, back in 2005. Like, I mean, you didn't go out there without a protective equipment on. Like, they would provide all that for you, gloves, everything, all that type of stuff. Some of these are not.
We don't have that type of organization here.
Yeah.
Helene, no. But I actually took a road trip yesterday. I was just kind of, I thought I had a moment. My wife quickly let me know that I was supposed to pick the kids up. But so I took a detour up Pensacola and just went all the way to the end, man, to the Wilson Battery, and they were paving it. And I turned around, but I hadn't been up there since Helene. And I mean, dude, just the devastation. The houses, like, with no foundation, they're still hanging,
Oh,
it's like, then you see like a goat.
Did you go up like Cattail and all that?
Not yesterday.
Yeah.
I had been, but not far. I still haven't done the cattail run, but there was some work, and there'd been a lot of improvements going on, and they were paving the road, but it just hit me like all the way up in that holler, all the way up in there. Like, You still got. I don't know if these people are ever going to build back. You know, I don't know.
I know.
You got your. I think the Mitchell County side got more publicity, probably less than the Asheville market, but Spruce Pine's still.
You want to know why?
Pretty good.
I want to track down who took that photo that went all over the place.
Which one?
The one of the downtown with the depot roof standing out. I think that's what honestly did it for Spruce Pine.
It might have been Jeff and his drone.
Yeah, that was a drone picture.
Was that a drone picture?
Yeah, Jeff did some good drone shots in the beginning. I can't remember the name of his. He's
That's at the Jeep and Realtor, isn't it?
No, that's Josh Huskins.
Oh, okay.
It's
but he did take.
He that's what he
Huskins
does
did
as
too.
a photographer, and he lives up behind the hospital. And I think they just drove down and took those quick first drone shots. Good guy, used to work with him at Sabelco too.
Dude.
But I think everybody, like locally, you know, and that's one of the reasons I'm helping Stephanie Johnson with rebuilding haulers. Like, try to work closely with her.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's done a lot of good work. I mean, God, good on her, man.
It surprised me, to be honest with you. Not really out of her, like as a person, but it just surprised me how it all worked out. Like, and I mean, I know she doesn't have the bankroll or the money to you know, we're constantly talking about keeping costs down and stuff, and I get it. But like, where those conversations, Samaritan's Purse doesn't really have those conversations, or I'm sure Baptist Men probably doesn't have those conversations, you know, because their bankroll's so big. Their donation center is you know, for
God, and
Purse,
thank God for
worldwide.
Samaritan's Purse and the Baptist Association, you know, the Baptist on Mission and Baptist Men and Methodist Men have been a real big, and all these like relief organizations. I appreciate it, but it's just so funny to me how it's like a whole, like, dude, it's a whole. I don't want to call it an industry, but I mean, in a lot of ways, it is. Like,
it needs to be run like a business.
It needs to be run like a business. Yeah.
Problem with some of the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Not the ones you mentioned, but like some of these smaller ones, just like they're trying to do a full volunteer base building a house, and you can't do that. You can't do that. You need expertise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then there's no locals working for these people. It's just, oh, you do sheetrock. You're from Minnesota. Well, come over here to this job and let's hang some sheetrock. And then the person that you actually talk to on the phone doesn't ever show up. It's just like the volunteers, like, I think I'm here. Is it 52 Toe River? And they're like, yeah, you're there. Go hang sheetrock. It should be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh yeah, dude, like, manage your house.
Right. They just tell them to go. All they're doing is giving free labor, but how skilled that labor is or whether it's managed at all is kind of just.
Oh, dude. Well, I got a house right now. Some pretty good kids worked on it. So I don't be too hard on them, but like the windows were too low. The door was too low. So it's going to be like the door wasn't even, and the floor needed to rise up. And we had to go in and cut 3 rows of blocks off. And Matt Hobson did this one and did 3 rows of blocks, and then it was square. It was actually, I put a square on it today, and we started putting steel plates on it. But we had to really fix those final 3 to kind of get it where it needed to be.
Where it needed to be, yeah.
It's hard to fix a house in 3 rows of blocks, but he did it.
Right. Yeah, boy, I've seen some ones. I'm like, whoa. You know what I did one time? I had one of them long tape measures I was using to square, you know, or whatever. Yeah. And I got to looking at it after we did it, and when we built the whole house, when the trusses got there, everything we were having trouble like fitting them or whatever. We had to like cheat them or whatever. And then he was like, "I'm gonna have to cheat this one," and I was like, "Oh, it's just a little out square." And I started looking. I was like, "What the heck is going on, dude?" And I didn't know how we had done it. And I got to looking at that tape, and next time I turned out, and the zero didn't start till like an inch into the.
Oh, you bought a bad tape, yeah.
It was a bad tape, man. I never even noticed it.
See, I'm telling you, dude. Every institution in America.
They made $30 off of you.
Yeah.
On that tape.
Big tape.
Big tape, man.
You
Gotta hate big tape.
Big measurement. Big measurement.
Big measurement.
That is a perfect illustration why I don't trust anything anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
Trust a tape measure.
Trust but verify.
If you can't trust a tape measure,
Yeah.
what can you?
You can't trust levels either. I'd
I have-
have to check my
That's
levels.
insane to me.
I have 3 tape measures that I keep in my wood shop, my toolbox, that match up out to 10 feet, and those are the ones I use for building cabinets and stuff because I know that all of those will be the same.
Yeah.
Oh, he's on a whole nother level.
Oh, if you the
Cabinet
tape.
maker?
Oh,
My goodness.
I don't know how. I don't
don't
know
know.
how they do it with stuff
don't
or
know.
did back in the day. I guess now they do a lot of it with fancy machines and all that stuff. But golly, man, those guys. Have you seen those guys like the videos of those old drywall guys?
Yeah.
They're doing it like the old school way, and they're like cutting it with scoring
Oh
it with
yeah,
a
they
knife.
got their hammer with like the
Yeah, and they're like
on the back of
The
it.
drywall hatchet. Yeah.
like doing it with like drywall nails.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have like line up like 10 of them in their mouth and do it like that. Like that's crazy, man. All those old school ways. The greatest thing I've ever seen is people like working and you've seen this too. I'm sure it's like people working like in force like together. There used to be a lot more of those companies when I first started than there are now.
Amish still do it.
Yeah,
It's hard to get a local company to work together like you construction crew.
Yeah.
That's why most of your cabinet guys like you're all.
I'm not a cabinet. I build cabinets on my own as a hobby, but not. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a cabinet guy.
They're lone guys. You'll never go to a cabinet shop and it's like, oh, where's everybody at? It's him. He builds cabinets, and it's
Yeah.
usually his name.
there's like him and his like one helper or something like that.
He
Yeah.
needs guys to help him hang it.
Yeah, well, yeah, Mark Bowles was like that, yeah. Then the guy who took over Mark Bowles, Chris Young, Pioneer Cabinets, it's him and, oh man, what's the name of his helper? He's a good guy. I can't remember. It eludes to me right
He
now.
may
But
have one helper. He may stick with them for a few years.
Yeah.
Or something, and then go get a job. again.
they've been together for a long time. I saw them the other day. They've been together for, God, it had to be 12 years, 10, 12 years now.
I didn't know the market sold it off. Or
Oh, yeah, he sold it off.
long time
Yeah,
ago.
long time ago.
I was out of the loop.
Yeah, you are. That's all right.
But you got.
We'll forgive you.
You gotta take care of your product on that level so much and fine tune it, like, and make sure everything that goes out the door is
Yeah,
perfect.
it's crazy.
Like house building, it's not like you can still hide that out of square
Right.
with your crew. You're
Sure.
like we were a half inch out today.
Yeah.
And I said, that's square. That's
Yeah,
like
it's
that's-
fine. For what we're doing the rebuild project, we're not going to go
the
back and
half
change
inch
and
is
do all that.
nothing. That's square in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, especially on a house that size.
Oh yeah, half inch. I mean, that's
half inch was nothing.
nominal.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's crazy, man. The whole building industry's wild, dude. It's wild, and all that stuff. So, Gresham, let me ask you about this, and I've intentionally saved it to the last. If people don't know, Gresham and his family got their whole house washed away during Helene. I didn't even tell you guys this before he got here.
Oh no, it's still there. It didn't get washed.
It did
away.
get washed away, but it got completely. You had to gut it completely.
Yes, it got gutted.
Yeah.
And I've had some organizations help with that.
Right.
In the beginning, so yeah, that was nice.
So how's it going now? Where you at?
I'm pouring footers Monday. It's been a long process. Like, the red tape is still a thing.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not happy about it, but like, you think you would kind of get pushed to the front, you know,
Yeah.
if you were. But I think the Helene victims kind of get just thrown in there with everybody else. Does
Right.
that make sense? Like, you're pulling a permit, I'm pulling a permit, but I'm limited in a camper. You're just pulling a permit for a $5 million second home for a homeowner out of Fort
Right.
Lauderdale. You know, it should be different, but it's not. That being said, I don't know. But yeah, we're getting there.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what is it? I mean, without getting too personal, can you say kind of more specifically what is the red tape? Because I'm a big believer in just calling it out. Like, what is it on a general level,
Okay,
like you think?
This has been probably a 5-month process. 5 months ago, I was ready to dig footers.
Yeah.
5 months. What would that put me back to? February? Would that be correct?
So everybody for everybody that doesn't know, like you're basically your foundation got undermined and you had to end up redoing that, right?
Yeah, and I dug my lot out.
Yeah.
If you want to go back to the beginning, the foundation was never proper anyway. It was more underpinned, if you think trailer and stuff.
Right.
Gotcha.
So some places in the house had footers. Some places
didn't.
The blocks kind of got washed out, and then when you go in, it looks like I've got like telephone poles run front to back, but it's these old logs that the old timers used to run for floor joists, and then they laid down 1-bys instead of plywood because plywood didn't exist back then.
Right.
Then there was a layer of heart pine, the old heart pine.
Ooh, yeah, that's beautiful.
Couldn't save it, but
yeah.
Just like
So
that.
then, like in my kitchen, where the floor actually just like the water went in there and just kind of sunk the floor and just dropped it into the dirt.
Right.
It was those slats, heart pine, plywood, linoleum, plywood, oak floors. So you had like 8 layers, and see that water gets in all those layers. So you have to like rip it all out. It's just going to create mold. In the other section, if you went like out of the kitchen and you went in the hallway, I noticed it was slats, heart pine, plywood.
That's crazy.
I think that was just plywood, and then there might have been another layer of some kind of like chip core, and then you had the oak floors. But when you had to rip all those out, and when you go to the walls, man, you had like the old beadboard. You remember the old school? They put all that on the walls, and then they would put sheetrock, a 1/4-inch sheetrock, and then somebody decided to come put wallpaper over it, and then somebody decided to put like a nice 1/2-inch piece of sheetrock and stuff. There's 4 or 5 layers, no matter what room you went into, on the walls. So and then mold, you can go in and that white mold's growing out of like in between those layers. It was probably within the 2 months I decided, let's like get out of here. Because what we would do, if you're going back to the beginning, what we would do, we first swept out the garage and mucked out the garage because it was a concrete floor, and that was like base camp.
Right.
You're talking about, I didn't get to that point probably till day 3, 4.
I got you. Well, here, do this. Take us back to tell the story. Just tell the story.
Oh, well, the morning.
Yeah, tell the story. Might as well. If we're going to go back to the beginning, let's tell the story.
Oh, well, the morning of. I mean, I already had some neighbors that had, like, jumped ship because they moved. They're like, this is scary, you know. And I honestly, I didn't give a second thought. I'm like, dude, this ain't going to do nothing. I'm not that guy.
Right.
I mean, if I'd have been on the river, I probably would have been one of the people that wouldn't be here today. Like, I'm just like, whatever, man. It ain't going to do nothing. It's never got up in my yard. Why would it, why would this water get that high? But going from that point, it was like 7 in the morning. We're watching it. You're like, it was 8. You're like, there's a little bit in the yard. And by like 9, we're kind of just sitting there watching it come up to like the front deck. And then my son, I bought him a Ford truck, and he loves that. It's like his baby. He was 17 at the time.
Right.
And he's like, I'm moving my truck. So he moved his truck, and I think we're at like 6 inches of water at this point.
Right.
Around my house. It's going around the house, and then I can see it coming in the backyard, and then I can tell it's coming in my crawl space vents, and then it's under the house at this point, just kind of doing its thing, and you're 8 inches from it coming in the door, probably more like 4.
Right.
So I'm like, well, I'll move my truck. And I pull it. I got one little hill that's probably maybe as high as the ceiling, and that's where my well is. So we pull it up, and we pull all those up, and then I get back out. I'm like, well, I got other things I need to do. We got a ton of stuff in this house, and you're looking, and then we're like, man, let's just go back in the house and then just gather everybody up. And at that point, it's happening so fast. By the time you're talking about 9:30, I know some of these rivers and some of these people were already dead at this point. But it hadn't peak height probably was 10 to 10:30.
Yeah, I was thinking it honestly in Spruce Pine Water, it was about like 11.
Yeah,
I think so.
That was about the time because it just kept like I remember when the water was at its highest, like the clouds and it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It just cleared out and then stayed that way for 2 months.
30 days. Yeah.
It was crazy.
So that's kind of how we did it.
So when did you get out? When did you decide to be like?
Probably 9:40.
Really? And what did you guys do? Just went up in your truck?
Yeah, we just sat in the truck, and it was still raining cats and dogs at this point. This was before it had cleared out. I mean, if you got out of your truck, you were immediately drenched. It's like somebody just took a bucket of water.
And it was because it was coming down sideways too.
It was bad. Yeah. So when you got out, you couldn't even see really like what you were looking at. So you had to kind of. You sat in the truck, you could watch it, through the windows. But yeah, I mean, at its height, it was probably about 3 feet up on the walls, a good 3 foot, maybe 4 in places. But when it would get to the back of the house, it kind of blew out one wall where it probably wasn't attached real good.
Right.
The house, and then it just took the kitchen floor down and kind of moved the refrigerator, knocked it down. Everything's just. I've got some pretty cool pictures of it.
When you walked in your house the first time after that, what was
Yeah, what is your first thought?
I videoed it, dude. I've got a video on Facebook. It's like,
can you send it to us?
Yeah.
Can we use it?
Oh yeah.
I would love that, man.
We did a news interview on it, which is hilarious. News Nation, you've ever heard of News Nation?
Yeah.
They called me.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It's all in there too. But yeah, it was just like, where I'm in disbelief thinking this water's never going to come up. And then the next thing I know, I'm sitting in my truck with my family. Everybody's safe. You're kind of thinking you're secluded at that point. Like, I can't believe this has happened. But you don't know. Like, I didn't know for probably 6 days. We had a landslide. I think it's day 6 before we got out. You just didn't know how bad it was everywhere else.
I know.
And you really didn't know the extent of it. I just thought we had a heavy rain on South Toe, and dang it, I'm the only house on my creek that really got it as bad as we got it.
So what is your first thought? Just like, all right, well, let's get the construction crew here and clean it out. Like what?
They did, man. I didn't have to call them. Like day 6 or 7, they showed up and just started shoveling. We were shoveling. I've got a picture of my wife with a shoveling hand at 12 o'clock.
Right.
We were shoveling off the decks because it went like I had a pool, and it got as high as the pool. It was above ground pool, so that's like 4. It was a 48-inch pool, so it got in it. And we were shoveling that deck off, and you just kind of, you don't really know what to do, really. So you're walking in mud, you're tromping in mud, you can't get out of it, and it's that slush mud.
Yeah.
And you have like my neighbors on the hill, they're good. Everybody around me was good, and you're just tromping through mud, and it's just like, you can't get out of it. And we didn't get out of it for months. We would take...
Where'd you go? Where'd you stay? In the garage?
Man, we stayed upstairs in that house for a few weeks, man, until like kids' hands started peeling. It looked like hand, foot, and mouth disease and stuff. And then we're like, we got to thinking, like, what are we drinking? Like, what's going on here? And you realize, like...
Was your well, did your well get...
it was tainted. Yeah,
really?
I had a buddy of mine come down from Pennsylvania, and he Cloroxed the whole thing, which I didn't really know anything about that.
Right.
You don't think a deep well underground is going to get tainted, but they were.
That's crazy. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I need to send some water out to keep tested, because you remember before I had a little bit of sulfur smell in mine.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, since the storm, it's been 50 times worse, and now it's iron. Like, it's staining my appliances.
You gotta get in there and
get it filtered at least, you know.
Drop some tablets. We did a whole water filtration system at ours, and then that light where you get that. Basically, you put a black light on
it's a UV light that'll kill the bacteria and stuff.
So I've got all that now. But you kind of, what we did was you transitioned the water from the big house into like, it was my teenage daughter's bedroom. And it's basically like a pool house. And that's where we went. It got to the step. There's a step that's probably 6 inches down from the door. It's not. And mud was on that step, but it didn't get in that door. Wow. But we didn't go in there initially. We stayed upstairs in our house, and then so we would tromps through the mud. The mud's still in the house at this point. And then I think the third step up in the house, you would take your shoes off, and then you would go upstairs for the night and light a candle. You know, I mean, at that time it was getting dark. It's October. It started changing. I can't remember, but like 7:30.
Yeah, it does.
That was bedtime.
Yep.
I mean, you know, you were up at daylight.
Yep.
How long was it before you got power?
I don't remember. It was a while. I
Yeah.
heard a lot of people talking like they didn't get power for 60 days and 30. It wasn't that long for us, but it was. I would like.
And they turned your power back on,
a month.
or what'd you do? Did you have to put a separate meter box?
No, I ain't done any of that. I just had them turn it back on. I'm still feeding off my big house for power. I haven't. I've just been using it, pulling everything for it, you know.
Did your outlets get destroyed? Did you replace those?
Oh, I'm sure they were popping left and right, man.
Really?
I was just like, oh, there's a fireball. You know, cut that breaker off. You know, cut this. But you're just doing what you got to do.
You know? Josh made a suicide cord for his into the meter base.
Yep.
Did you get flooded?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Dude, it was forever before you got power back. I got power back a good like 2 weeks before you did, I think.
Did you guys figure out how to backfeed a generator into your main? Okay,
Yeah.
'cause that was something that was like big. So I learned how to do that.
Yeah, I did that pretty quickly. As soon as I got one, like within a day of having one, I had that
Yeah.
figured out.
You had power, I think, that week before we played the mini toe jam.
Yes.
And I think, but you'd just gotten power that week before.
Yes.
So it was about
got power-
October 14th, maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
12th,
Yeah.
12th, 14th?
Yeah, it would have been the 14th because we had Noah's birthday. And his party, it would have been the 14th because that was the day that we had his party, and it came back on in the middle of his birthday party. I was running the generator, and I had everything off, and the neighbor came over, and he was like, "You can kill your generator. We got power." I was like, "Oh God!" It was.
Dude, what a time after that. What
Was
a
that November or October? You're talking about October.
Dude, is anybody talking about? Are we gonna do something for the year anniversary?
I don't know.
Oh man.
I think everybody wants to. It's probably going to be a 2-year. This has been a long process, man.
Yeah.
You know how naive I was. I had an outfit. I knew so many people, man. Like First Baptist up here brought me a camper pretty quick. They had somebody donate it. It was like a little small tent camper type thing. Then Operation Hilo was donating campers out on West Yancey. So I got one of them. And then it was about 30 days after that, Samaritan's Purse donated me one too. So I got campers to live in and stuff. But it was I think I was so naive. I told the guys from that donated the first camper, I was like, I'll have it back to you in a couple months. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought, and we're still in it. Like, well, I'm not. I've done some additions to the house, and like my kids stay in the campers. Cause so at the house, if you want like something to drink, a lot of times showers. I don't have any of that. They can't use the bathroom in the campers. I don't have any of that like hooked up. So like everybody has to come in to use one, basically like a guest bath.
Right.
There's 8 of us. So
Yeah, he has a huge family too.
Wow.
I probably should have inserted that detail.
Yeah, when you're talking about sitting in the trucks, I mean, I got kids screaming in the back. Like, we watched our van. I have like a church bus, van that I use for construction, and it was floating down.
What did you call it? The Beast, wasn't it?
I can't remember. Yeah, it was a beast. I loved it. I loved that thing. It's the first time I cried when I found it. I didn't. I found it, and it was just demolished, and I was like, it kind of set in. That might have been
at that point. Like the emotions just kind of got to you for a second. Yeah, I had a couple of those after a little bit. Like just being in that whole thing, you're like, you don't realize really what you're doing, like, and how I don't think it dawned on me really until probably I don't know, a month in, like how rare. I'm like, wow, this has been going on for a while. Like,
yeah,
we're kind of screwed. Like, you know.
Over it.
Yeah, we were all a little bit over it. If it wasn't for hanging out with some of y'all and just good people, I mean, there's so much to be said about it, man. You know.
It was, and there's so much positivity to be shared.
Yes,
and I'm sure. I mean, God's blessings have been poured out on this place, and people have got the response was crazy, man. I mean, just from people, and I think there was a lot of people that I would have never met in my life, that wanted to do stories.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 kids from New York did an article on me. One was from Brooklyn, and they'll never be back down here, you know. But I got to share my story with them.
Yeah.
And then really my eyes got open to a power of prayer. If that makes sense.
100%.
It's just dude, you can really feel it. When you're struggling, and I really felt like the homeless guy on the corner, and I've always been negative on homeless, but when we go by them in Asheville, man, I'm Jessica's like, should we give him? No, he's a drug addict. It's his fault he's on the corner. You know what I'm saying? That was me. And to get changed and to basically be in it shift my perspective bad, because I was negative on drug addicts, and because I could have took that route. I always feel like I could take that route. I could have done drugs. I could have done heroin, and I could be standing there too, but I didn't. I chose to be somebody, you know, and to finally realize anybody can be there. It takes you lose your house, you don't have a place to stay. Now you got 8 kids that are homeless. Or a family of 8 that's kind of homeless, and then you're, you know, it's wow, we're just one step away from nothing. So it devalued everything. It raised my value of family, of community, of Spruce Pine, Yancey County. I'll section it down to even CeeLo. I mean, I got a lot of different neighbors in CeeLo, but it really valued that. And the money is I've had to learn to accept. Samaritan's Purse was a big donor for my build back. So they had a South Toe fund, and everybody that lost their home on South Toe, they gave they dispersed it to the churches, and that's kind of how it was. A grant somehow got through Samaritan's Purse, and I don't really know how that works.
Right.
That's how we're financially able to build back some. I don't think it'll fully cover my build back, but it'll.
Well, I've been telling these guys too. It's I feel like what we've done, even with a lot of private people and businesses and things to do to help rebuild back and all that stuff. You've done a lot of stuff, done a lot of small stuff, a lot of repair work for people. But now it's coming down, and it's funny. You're just getting ready to pour footings and stuff like that. I feel like that's the way a lot of people. I have 2 or 3 projects I'm either involved in or working on directly that are people finally beginning to build the insurance. They've fought with the insurance and got what they finally needed, or just gotten what they got and are just trying to get it back. And just now getting started at it, honestly. So there's a section of the whole thing you've gone through the immediate recovery, which I really think is probably about a year.
Yeah,
or 9 months, and then there's a lot of the projects where people completely lost stuff that's got to be built back, and I think a lot of that's just now starting, and
I think so.
It's really blowing my mind that we are almost a year
I know it seems like it was yesterday.
It does. I still feel like it just happened.
Yeah, I know. But I just hope people, like, at the end of the day, I hope people, like, remember. Because it's like one of those things like what happened after 9/11, but on a much, like, more mini scale. Like, after 9/11, everybody felt like, we're Americans.
Yeah.
We're going to pull together and help each other, and also we're going to go kick somebody's ass.
It
like,
lasted
what I mean?
for a while.
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I think Wayne Pate said this. He's like, he's like, it says it takes about 2 weeks to make a habit. He's like, I know we had more than 2 weeks of like being completely together as community and all that stuff. And I hope that like goes forward. I really, really do.
Yeah, I do too.
I really do.
I feel like that. I don't know. You get on your social media platforms and it sometimes, but like
it doesn't seem that way.
I really do feel like that. Like,
well, and old habits die hard. Old habits, even after stuff like that, are going to come back and people start complaining. And it's like, wait a minute, I want you to take a minute and realize where you were 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's all it would take. Like, if somebody flipped you off in traffic, you could just roll the window, like, hey, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could just say, hey, don't do that. Like, think about where we were,
Yeah.
And then they would be like, you're right. You could do that.
And there's a couple of people, there's a few, there have been a few instances where people have done that, like people that are like prominent either in, leadership and stuff like that. And I'm like, how tone deaf is that? Like, you can't do that. You can't do stuff like this. Now's not the time, man. We're only 9 months away from this. Like, we've felt more together now than we ever have. But I think what the question is what really lasts long term. And I hope we got a lot of positive stuff that's going to last long term. A lot of positive attitude and stuff.
We just have to remember the internet's not real life.
Exactly. Well said. Well said.
Some of the funnest times I had was without the internet. And that, I wish we could go back.
We've said it 1,000 times. JB talks about it all the time. Like, those were the best times. Like, you didn't have to, like, worry about anything. Like, it took away all the pressure, But, you were obviously in a completely different situation than we all were.
You were worried, but, like, every day you had that immediate, like, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. I didn't have work piled up 5-6 months out, project stuff that I was worrying about because that didn't exist at that point.
Yeah.
So every day you got up, like you said, when the sun came up, you got up, you worked, you did what had to be done, and it got dark, you went to bed. Exactly. And you got a lot of rest.
Very
you got
simple.
A lot of sleep.
It got very simple for a few. Yeah. No cell phone, no nothing. That just became. I've said it 1,000 times. This was just a means of telling time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No.
This meant nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Yeah.
I remember the first time we got cell phone service. We had to drive out. And everybody's like, you need to call your insurance company. So that's what our main mission was, and I couldn't find it. So we finally got out of the landslides up south, though. I drove all the way past Walmart, and then I thought, I'm going to cut into the parkway, and the devastation up there was right above the apple orchard. Pull off.
Yep.
And there was cell phone service there.
Yeah. Yep.
And we sat there, and I got a hold of nobody. Like, they didn't know where to direct you.
Right.
It was a complete waste of time, but, like, it was a nice time. It was a nice getaway for me and my wife.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Once I figured that out, I would go up to the parkway and just sit in my car and, like, hang out on the internet for a minute. I'd argue on Facebook just for old time's sake. But I live on the outback. So once I figured out that there was this cell phone service up there, I was up there a while. Yeah. Like, we're still alive.
Dang, Democrats.
There was that whole crowd of people out there in front of Skyline and all that. There was that one tower down in Marion that was just getting hammered by everybody trying to connect. And
we need to go and put a plaque on that tower. Honest to God, I thought about that once before. I was like, we should contact Verizon or whoever owns that tower or has signal on that tower. However we need to do. And we need to go and put a plaque on that tower.
Where was it at? Where's the tower?
I have no idea.
Somewhere down off the mountain towards Marion or down to the Cove or something.
Yeah. Because that's kind of nasty.
Yeah. Laura's got a picture. She took it from that bridge down on the crowd that was parked at the Mineral Museum and stuff, because you could get, after a while, after just a few days, you could kind of get it right back in there. You didn't have to go all the way out, but it was a little bit better, but you could get it kind of back there and on top of that bridge. And, dude, it looked like a gather. It looked like the Highland Games.
It looked like a party,
but it was all just people talking on their phone. That was all. Everybody was just walking around talking. That's crazy. We should actually do something about that, man.
We should.
Somebody should have snapped a picture of that. Like, that would be a good
Oh,
thing.
Laura's got a picture. She's got the picture, the whole thing. Yeah.
It.
Oh, yeah.
Put it.
Oh. Well, how long have we been going, JB?
Hour and 15.
Hour and 15? Is that about time to wrap her up?
Yeah, well, it's about 9:30.
Yeah, so.
We'll call it there. Everybody,
Sounds good.
thanks so much for watching. Gresham, thanks for
Gresham,
Hey, yeah.
thanks, man.
Thanks for
We should do this again, dude. We could sit
Yeah,
here and talk all dang night, man.
We could. It's pretty relaxing, you know.
Yeah, I know. We do some of these that go like 3 hours and stuff, but those are just. But I could do that with you too. You know, honestly, you should come in for one of those sometime.
We'll get deeper.
Yeah, we'll get deeper.
Deeper next time.
That's the thing I've kind of learned too is like some of the ones that we've done with really interesting people that only go like an hour. I'm sorry, I'm just giving the inside baseball thing. This has been my thinking lately. Is like if we want to have those people back, it helps to like don't go into the whole like shebang because there's a lot of people that there's people that I would love to get back on, but we did like 3 hours and there's nothing left for us to like talk about at that point. You know what I mean?
We'll dive into corporate next time.
Oh, yeah.
We'll dive
I'm all about that.
deep into corporate.
I'm all about that. Corporations and corporations and the government and all of it.
Yep.
Burn it down.
Burn it all down. They're all corrupt.
I used to be like, again, I'll shut up, but I used to be like, no, we need to make small incremental changes until everything gets better. No, man, F it, burn it down.
Well, that was my biggest problem with Helene and some of the organizations is they didn't run it like we're talking about it needed to be run. Like they still thought they were distributing water.
Yeah.
We need to run it like a corporation,
Yeah.
but not a corrupt corporation.
Yeah.
Right.
It
Some
just
of
has to
them-
have structure. It's got to have
Yeah.
Structure.
And there's some of them that have great structure. Like as far as I can tell, Samaritan's Purse and all that stuff is great, but you are 100% right. We will get into that the next time though, because you know what's so funny about this? It's like unfolding an onion peel. As it goes, you learn more about all this like thing, you know?
Yeah, and every problem is so multifaceted. There's so many layers to everything.
Yep.
We tend to oversimplify things too. But anyway, please like, share, subscribe.
We'll go all night if we don't
I'll
stop.
shut up. I'll go on. We love you all. Thanks so much.
Peace.
Bye.